Welcome back, everyone. Everyone on YouTube, hello, hello. Everyone on Twitch, just pretend that we're starting the stream now and not like an hour and a half ago. All right? Okay? Does that sound good? It's wonderful to see you all. Hope you're doing well. It's not 3 weeks since the last time. It's like 3 days this time. So that's nice. That's cool. Rob, we didn't do any MSQ last time.
Nope.
But we did see some new things and learn some new things.
Yeah, we came across Edda again, and her flappy head.
You were getting like pretty good at this. Yeah, we
Well,
came across Edda and her flappy head. Who's the flappy head, do you think?
I would guess it's the guy who died in. Give me a sec. So.
Oh my.
No, I'm gonna nail it this one.
Okay, all right.
Not something. Sastasha.
Oh my goodness. Oh, I'm like half chub right now. That was beautiful. Oh my goodness. Oh, I'm so proud of you. Guys, I promise I've not been giving Rob any cheat sheets. That was all him.
I didn't even check the log actually.
Oh, my baby's growing up.
By the way, I was watching your the stream that hasn't been going for an hour. While I was eating. The boss you did.
Yeah.
The dragon.
Nidhogg.
How do you say his name? Since this is a Japanese MMO.
Yeah,
those kind of name.
They just call him Nidhogg.
Nidhogg.
Nidhogg, yeah. I think in Norsk and in Old Norse, it's... Oh, I know in Old Norse it's supposed to be more like Nidhögr.
Nidhogg.
Yeah.
More like.
Well,
Okay.
in modern Norwegian, yes, but in like Old Norse, it was probably something like Nidhögr.
Yeah, in Old Norse, it's Nidhögr. Nidhögr.
Isn't it Nida with a soft T?
I thought it was more like closer to a T than a D. But
Depends if it's a regular D or not, actually.
yeah.
I thought it was written with that D with like a cross on it.
Yes.
I might be wrong.
Yeah.
Yeah.
D, I mean.
Yeah, that's the one. Yeah. See, I'm a big like poetic Edda nerd.
Edda.
Yeah. Oh, there you go.
Hold on a minute.
I don't think that's germane.
Is she crucial to the rest of the game by any chance?
No, not really.
Okay. I was just wondering if he actually.
No. So I don't think that's particularly germane. Yeah, I'm a big nerd for the poetic Edda and all of Sturluson's nonsense, to whom Rob is related. If any of you guys didn't catch that, Snorri Sturluson, the basically everything that we know about Norse lore and mythology that's been converted from like old epic poems into prose was done by this one guy, who was Rob's great.
No, not Snorri himself.
No?
No.
But like mathematically speaking, we were probably all Norwegians related to him.
Well, you related to
Sturla
yeah, Stala Grimson, who was his like
the Icelandic part of me.
yeah, but that was like his cousin, his brother or his cousin. They were directly related.
Yeah, with Egil I am direct with you. I actually asked my uncle, who has all the like relative research, and it's like it's way out there, but it's a direct line from that guy.
Yeah. So Rob is descended both from the Old Norse kings and from like the greatest and most famous skald. Is pretty wild. So we're gonna have a fun time when we get into Heaven's Ward, I think, diving into a lot of the Old Norse stuff. Because I'm a huge nerd, but you know, this is your heritage. It's this kind of shit. And I'm gonna be really interested to see whether you guys like enjoy it or whether you think it's really
Off.
yeah, like off-color cultural appropriation.
I know for a fact Drac is huge Norse nerd.
Oh yeah,
I mean, don't
History in general, maybe.
don't overdo it now. But I like it.
Well,
you see, you're gonna sell him up to the point where he's gonna have to go and do some reading before we get to Heaven's Ward, just so he can sound erudite.
If I'm off, he's usually the guy correcting me.
Okay,
Again.
all right, okay.
You know, just sound like a dick. No, I'm joking.
That's okay. You can be a dick to Rob. He's like our punching bag for this series. Yeah, he's been doing a really good job of it. Takes it like a champ. What I suggest is we do a little bit more Palace of the Dead until we get Rob up to what's the minimum level 16 for the leveling duty roulette, and then we can do that and a couple of dungeons and basically have you up to 20 and be able to continue the MSQ pretty quickly. That's interesting. You know, I've never had that problem. I've never ever had that problem. I've done a lot of stuff about Norse mythology on my channel. We have these discussions a lot on Twitch as well, and I know the Wagnerian issue, but it's never been a problem for me.
Yeah, they're like legit people holding actual like ceremonies with swords and like doing Norse baptism and stuff like that. It's
yeah, I know. It's it was
and those are just nice people.
those are the less upsetting ones. It was a big thing basically after Wagner's during Das Nibelungenlied. There was that huge 19th century resurgence of Norse culture and I guess like neo-Hellenism associated with like old Germanic culture that became, you know, a huge part of Nazism, of course. And it's really interesting reading like Nietzsche, for instance, wrote a lot about that and kind of anticipated the rise of Nazism in a lot of ways. The case of Wagner, like he was a student of Richard Wagner, and he was sort of talking about the I guess the ugly side of this Germanic, wouldn't call it patriotism, nationalism, not really, but that you know what I'm talking about. That sort of like Germanic fascism, cultural fascism.
It's definitely evolved into nationalism.
Yeah, definitely. That's it's really fascinating, really interesting. Would I say Wagner was a Nazi? I mean, Wagner was a Nazi before Nazism was a thing, but Wagner established the Germanic cultural zeitgeist that evolved into Nazism. Yes, absolutely, 100%.
Unintentional Nazi.
Well, it wasn't even unintentional because he was trying. He was anti-Semitic and he was trying to build this like Germanic racial identity and establish the superiority of Germanic culture as opposed to other kinds of European heritage. And the interesting thing and the sad thing with Nietzsche is that a lot of European fascism grabbed onto his ideas, particularly about the will to power, and his, I guess, like truth nihilism, folded that into this sort of grander Wagner project, even though he was incredibly anti-Wagner, and Wagner basically threw him under the bus in a way, basically like denounced him for his what Wagner would have put as, Semitic apologism. Nietzsche is someone that I studied a lot, and a really fascinating fellow that's very misunderstood and misrepresented.
You want to know something like slightly fucked up?
Mm.
There's or I think there still is. At least there was a Norwegian clothing store brand named Wagner.
Oh, really?
Yep.
It's interesting. Yeah, Wagner's a tough one because his music was revolutionary and incredibly, like stirring and inspiring. Like you listen to the sort of overtures of the first act of the Ring das Nibelungenlied, and it's like it's really difficult not to feel that kind of, I guess, understand like what German people listening to that in the late 20s and early 30s when it sort of saw this huge like popular resurgence, what they were kind of feeling, what they were experiencing. And it's scary, like listening to stuff like that in context now. It's kind of like what was that name of the Nazi filmmaker, the propagandist? It's kind of like watching his stuff, and it's chilling, because it is like so well crafted and so effective and so easy to understand how the German youth got pulled in by it. It really gives you chills. Anyway, it's not a rabbit hole that I want to dive into too much. It's probably a bit of a somber topic. But certainly an interesting one. I guess like reiterating the conversation we were having the other night about like despite the fact that you guys have barely got like a foot in the door at the moment and don't really have an idea of what the combat in particular is going to feel like at endgame. Are you enjoying the ride so far? Are you feeling good about it?
Yeah, I am. A bit slow paced in the start, but it's getting there. Especially since we start doing Palace of the Dead.
Yeah. Well, this will get us all the way up to level 60 if we go deep enough. But once again, I think particularly for you on Rogue, most of your like post 30 skills are attached to Ninja. Yeah, I don't know. We might end up jumping back in here when we do that. When we do unlock the jobs. I don't ramble. You get very involved in many topics. Listen, I get very involved in many topics and then I ramble about them. Okay? I do ramble. I don't know if it's a symptom of being a writer. I don't know if there's some kind of trade-off that when you're good at like communicating ideas on paper, you become very, very bad and meandering, trying to communicate them in speech. But no, my head's a mess. I can't keep anything straight. Rambling's all I can do. Oh! Are we discussing whether Palace of the Dead is most efficient up to 60 leveling versus highest level dungeon? Look, I think at the moment spamming dungeons is a little bit more efficient. If you're running like a DPS and trying to do it solo, just not having to deal with the DPS queues, Palace of the Dead is faster. And also it's just like you get into the zone with Palace of the Dead in a way that you can almost kind of like autopilot until, something awful happens and you have to start panicking. That I find it mentally a really kind of chill and easy way to level up. But my favorite way to level all jobs is by doing a combination of content. I've never been about like min-maxing when it comes to, I'm not trying to like speed run when I'm leveling up. So I'll usually do like my challenge logs first. So I'll go and do like my fates, my challenge logs. I'll do, daily beast tribes. I'll do my my roulettes. Then I'll do a bit of Palace of the Dead, and then I'll, switch it up. Try not to do one thing for more than a couple of hours. Yeah, we have so many options. That's right. We have so many options, and they're all so fast. I mean, another good one that a lot of people don't think of is going through the zones and doing side quests, And they're like for Realm Reborn, the side quests are not great experience, but you get a lot of gear and you get a lot of like story and world building and stuff like that, and it's something that it can be a fun change of pace. Palace of the Dead for learning classes is very, very good. Yes, I think that Palace of the Dead should be part of the learning experience when you pick up a new job, particularly when you do get your job. Yeah, like day one Stormblood coming in here with Samurai and Red Mage. I just remember like a couple of hours and I had it worked out, you know? Squadrons work pretty dang well. That's true, actually. Yeah, I keep forgetting about squadrons. Squadrons are pretty good as well. Tal is writing her bachelor's thesis on basically what I was making videos on in 2015, which is the connection in Final Fantasy XIV to particularly English, Irish, Scottish, and Welsh mythology. A lot of Ulster Cycle, and Kulik and Olwen, a lot of, you know, Cuchulainn and Lu and Tuatha De Danann and...
And I have no idea what you just said.
I'm talking about Irish stuff. I wonder how much you can get away with using, like, Les Mots d'Arthur and other, you know, Chansons de Roland and other Chansons de Geste in talking about English mythology, because those are French texts, but they're very central to English stuff. Anyway, it's not my problem, it's her problem. But I thought it was really interesting. She said she wanted to do this, and I was like, oh snap, you know, like I made a bunch of videos about that when I was starting out my channel, and she was like, no. She had no idea. English mythology comes from all over the place. That's so much of what Tolkien was about, was the fact that English mythology was so kind of like scattered from so many different traditions, and he wanted to write an English Odyssey, you know, an English Aeneid, to consolidate a lot of that stuff. Neva, you just made me feel real stupid because I never picked up on that. So thanks for making me feel real dumb.
It's also an anagram of Dada.
Dada. That's true.
Dada.
Yeah, and that's no doubt equally significant.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Depending on who you ask. Yeah.
Yeah. Also, Edad. You know.
Oh
So,
yeah.
Yeah, and my Edad is Gaius, so maybe Edda's actually Gaius.
Oh.
Gaius in sexy pumps and a wig. Oh man, just made myself a little bit randy there.
This did not take the direction I expected, but
not the direction we expected.
It went this way though.
But the direction we deserve.
oh yeah.
Danitri, are you kink shaming me right now? Yeah, I had a Gaius fetish back way before it was cool. Huh? And I don't want to spoil anything for those in the party here, but I was right all along, all right? And I'm never gonna let that go.
Well, in my experience, the music in Final Fantasy tends to be a bit, I don't know, zen.
Oh, wait
Well,
till
not zen, but
you just
like,
wait. You just wait until we get into Shadowbringers, my dude. Actually, you don't even have to wait that long to get to the bangers. Oh man, I'm gonna have to take you guys in to do Sephiroth when we hit level 60. You should have a stun, Rob.
Yes.
You can interrupt the mimics. I think it's infatuation that gives
Leg sweep?
pox. Yeah, leg sweep. Yeah, you can interrupt that with leg sweep if you see it casting it. One that gives pox. No, you won't stun or interrupt as much as you. Oh, that's true.
Oh, okay.
It used to be. Oh fuck, that's a lot of slimes. It used to be a lot more of a thing back in ARR, like ARR raids had a lot of interrupts, and it's still a thing, but not so much.
I feel that in current content on WoW, you basically do nothing else than interrupt.
Yeah.
You always have, if you have a group that's not using their interrupts, you're fighting the GCD and timer
Yeah.
to actually interrupt all the stuff.
It's still required in a couple of mechanics, but not as often. The like 14's endgame is a lot more about like movement and positioning. I mean, you've seen me raiding. You've seen like how much attention has to be paid to like position and you know, like constant movement for different mechanics and stuff like that. It's a lot more about like party coordination with stuff like that.
Yeah. If you see something that I should have interrupted, just
Oh yeah, for sure. I'll let you know.
yell them out.
Yeah. Here. HUD layout, and then you select the element, whichever element you want to use. So for the cast bar, is it progress bar? Target
That's
bar?
a target bar.
Target bar,
Which
yeah. You can go to that one, and then go UI element settings. Their cast bar will be progress bar. Target info progress bar. So if you go to display target info independently, then you can increase the size of their progress bar.
Okay, there we go.
You can go through that for every single UI element and drag everything around. You can have like different presets. So for me, I have a preset that I normally use for healing and a preset I normally use for DPS. The healing, I have like the party list further centered because I'm focusing more on that than I am on the enemies. There's a lot of like really neat quality of life stuff baked into the game.
Still small.
Is it?
Yeah.
Oh, I don't know.
She said.
Hey, when I did a percentage, it scaled up. Okay.
Yeah.
Never mind.
Oh, there you go.
Transparency.
Oh, you were doing the transparency?
Yeah, same as me.
All right, so Rob's just an idiot.
I mean,
What?
it's not like I told you exactly what you were doing wrong, but I told you exactly what you were doing wrong.
Because it still said like transparency and then a percentage. It's like, I guess that's it. And the size was like written under the slide bar itself.
You dummy. Oh yeah, that's right. Yeah, I should have remembered that. Yeah. Transparency is how you say size in Noshk. Yeah. Yeah, easy mistake.
Yeah.
I've actually set up the UI somewhat similar to how World of Warcraft players who uses the UI add-on is,
Yeah.
and I can't stand it.
Oh.
Like I still use the classic hotbar and everything.
Yeah.
Or function bar.
Honestly, I find most of the UI plugins, particularly the hotbar plugins for WoW, so fucking ugly. And it's so weird coming from 14, having to like navigate all that stuff. And it was a huge criticism of 14, like when it first came out, that they were so against using add-ons. And they were just like, hey, just wait and we'll like introduce all this stuff for you and make it look good. Like just tell us what you want and we'll do it.
Yeah.
Obviously, it took a lot longer, but it's at a point now where it's in a pretty good spot. Your Elf UI looks exactly like your 14 UI. I messed around with Elf UI a little bit, and I couldn't get it to be how I wanted it.
Figure out a way to set it up somewhat close to home.
Yeah. It shouldn't be too hard, I think.
Yeah, I spent several hours kind of like browsing through WoW add-ons and trying to work out what I would like, and I just got frustrated with it. The biggest problem with any MMORPG is definitely approachability, and most other tab target MMOs are so like derivative of WoW that approachability coming from WoW to other MMOs is rarely like that much of a problem. But going back in the other direction, it can sometimes be a little tough. Most people I know that play both tend to hit WoW really hard when a new expansion comes out. 14 is just like the comfy place that they chill in between WoW expansions because it's reliable, it's consistent, you're getting consistent content updates every 3 months, and you know exactly what you're getting and when you're getting it, and everything is just like reliable. And then they'll fuck off to WoW for 3 or 4 months when a new expansion comes out, and then they'll come back. And that, I think that's good. I think that works well. Yoshida actually talks about a lot when people are like, oh, I'm feeling a bit of a content drought, 2 months without any new content. Like, please, Yoshida, can we have something? And he's like, just go play another game for a while. Just go stop to WoW for a couple of months. Like, you can play more than one game.
Like 5.3, 5.3.
Yes.
Was released now, and now it will be like somewhat quiet for a couple months.
Yeah, well, we're getting the Bosnian Southern Front in a few weeks, which is going to be a big like endgame grind sort of content. But that's something that we can sort of like come and go from between now and the next major patch. Yeah, I mean, for me, I'll probably like no life that for a couple of weeks. And then...
So you're done with that when we get pre-patch? No, it's...
Yeah, maybe. Yeah. I mean,
sometime.
I'm definitely going to be trying to get like most of what I need to do in there out of the way before we get like heavy into pre-patch, because I want to make sure that I do have some time to fuck around with Shadowlands pre-patch. I get it when people are like, man, I want more content in 14. There's no one that's ever like run out of things to do in 14. Not like since the Realm Reborn. It's always like I've done everything that I want to do. There's always more shit to do. Like, I played this game for a job, and there's still like so much shit that I could do. But I kind of get it at the same time that it's a little frustrating sometimes if what you really want to be doing is raiding and there hasn't been any new hardcore raids for a little while. You're like, oh man, I really want that. I'm gonna have to like just, you know, find other things to do. When 5.3 was delayed because of COVID, there was a part of me that was honestly like, oh hell yeah. Awesome. I'm gonna have all this free time. A very small part of me, mind you. So you're a pretty serious mount collector in WoW, right?
Serious? I've started to collect a few over the last weeks when having nothing else to do.
I hope for your sake that you don't get sucked into that habit in 14, because there's a lot of
Depends how you obtain them.
really rare grindy mounts. Well, there's a lot that are RNG, and then there's a lot that is like either a 2% drop rate or hand in 99 tokens from this fight. A lot of stuff
I'll
like that.
probably do the 99 tokens if you get 1 token per fight,
Yeah.
to be fair.
Yeah.
Uh,
Yeah, there's a lot of that. Like for every endgame extreme mode trial, they have one of those. I mean, there's a couple in here. There's a couple of very, very rare mounts in here that, in like the lower floors, like closer, you know, floor like 100 plus, have a rare chance of dropping from chests.
and also, every raid tier on Savage difficulty has its mount. Like, okay.
Yeah, but
Oh,
it
yeah.
is a guaranteed drop that you still have to roll on it, but.
That's also a thing. If you do the last tier and second tier, there's 4 tiers total in BFA. Second and fourth has a 100% guaranteed drop mount from heroic or mythic, and when pre-patch drops, they reduce it down to 1% drop chance. Even if you're running like a 30-man group, it's still 1%.
Wow, that's interesting way to incentivize it, I guess.
I mean, you don't want people to just farm it constantly
Yeah, that makes sense.
in the next expansion, and just everyone's suddenly running around with the mounts.
Well, they kind of do the opposite in 14, where for the extreme mode trials, right? When in the patch they come out, you won't be able to buy it with tokens. It'll just have, you know, like a 2% drop chance each time you complete the fight. And then like a patch or two later, they will allow you to buy it for 99 tokens. They'll introduce that later on. So in 14, it's difficult to get like current rare mounts, like new rare mounts, but it becomes easier and easier to get the old ones, like the ones from A Realm Reborn, the Extreme Primals. They've buffed the drop chance for those several times over the years.
You know, I get PTSD from what Arithos just said in party chat.
Yeah. Yeah, and you can solo them. If you just want the mounts, you can like solo them unsynced if you really want. If you're a bitch. Okay, we have to be careful. Yeah, I'm not gonna use Serenity. It's just this. But This effect we got at the moment, it'll make enemies stronger and there'll be more of them. So just want to be careful. Just one at a time. The pro strat for soloing Palace of the Dead is never move more than you need to and never run through the center of a room. If you like hug the walls, you're less likely to hit traps. It's kind of ironic because, you know, just did that and immediately hit a trap.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, to be honest, I didn't really pay attention. I heard hug the wall and something about enemies gaining more strength as we go.
Yeah, they'll be more powerful and they'll have more health while this gloom is up. Oh, and in these hallways, like between the rooms, there's no traps. So the other like pro strat for higher floors is to basically pull into the hallways. I think I mentioned the other night, but for Palace of the Dead, goes up to floor 200, and there's like maybe a couple of dozen people in the world that have soloed it to floor 200. Some pretty serious EP. And last week, someone did it on the free trial, just to prove that it could be done. Yeah, most of them on Red Mage, yeah. Red Mage is very, very good for something like this. You want to do floor 200? Oh, man. Tal...
She goes around.
I don't know how to say it politely. Look, if we had 4 people with 99 and 99, which is, you know, obviously a prerequisite, and we had more than one healer, then we could probably do it. But it is such a slog. Yeah. It's like a 15-hour commitment, really, just to do one run to 200. When you're above 50, if you die, you have to go back to 51, don't you?
That's kind of a bummer.
Yeah. Yeah, so you can get up to floor 199, and if you whack, you're back to 51.
I would rage quit so hard if I got to floor 199 and then...
Oh yeah, absolutely. It's happened. It's happened to me. I haven't gotten to 200, but I've gotten into the 190s a few times. And you just like, okay, fuck this. I'm never doing this again. It's not incredibly hard. Listen, it's not like mechanically difficult, but it's punishing, like RNG difficult. It is incredibly punishing. And it's like an endurance test because you're slogging at it for so long. And like in those later floors, if you like lapse in attention and miss a stun, miss an interrupt, it's just an instant wipe. Heaven on High is a lot easier. We got to the top of Heaven on High, Tal, didn't we?
I know some ridiculous.
Oh yeah?
There's a dude in World of Warcraft who... I don't remember when it was. It's not too long ago. But he soloed 2 of the raid bosses from the current tier.
Wow, that's pretty hectic.
Demon Hunter?
No, Paladin actually.
Someone...
He did Il'gynoth and the one after or before.
Someone did a ultimate with 8 tanks.
There's a dude who leveled to max level. I don't remember if it was in BFA or which it was, but as a panda you start as factionless, so you have to pick your faction when you're leaving the starting zone. And he played the whole game, yeah, since Mist of Pandaria, and what he does is herbalism, and he gained XP from picking herbs.
Right.
And flowers, and he maxed out his character.
Without fighting?
Yeah.
That's hilarious.
Never killed a single mob.
I love that.
And it even ended up like people trying to pull stuff to him, so he would have to.
Oh man, that is so
But
funny.
that's like South Park level grinding, though.
Yeah, that's
just, yeah, that's
Make
insane.
Love Not Warcraft or whatever it's called.
Yeah, I remember that. Yeah, that got a lot of attention, actually. Okay, this guy, you can interrupt this one, Chirp. Yeah, there you go. Well done. Ah, shit. All right, hold on. I got the witching. Probably didn't need it, but I'm gonna play that safe after what happened last time.
Keep bringing that up.
Listen, it's happens to everyone, okay? It's perfectly normal, okay? Every man, they get to a certain age where, you know, once or twice they hit that luring trap, you know?
Yep.
Perfectly normal.
Yep.
They got pills that can help you with it if it's affecting your relationships. Mimics usually drop chests when you kill them, and sometimes those chests are also mimics. And I shit you not, the worst I've had went 5 mimics deep. I don't know what the
It's like one of the Russian.
That's like a Russian mimic. Yeah.
yeah. I don't know what the odds of that actually were, but it was ridiculous. Fortunately,
Did
Pox
they grow
doesn't
smaller
stack.
in size?
No, they're all the same.
Damn it. That would have been funny.
A Russian TARDIS mimic.
Yeah, what's the Russian dolls called again? I don't even know.
Oh yeah, they have a
Fuck, I don't know.
thingy.
There's a name
Yeah, they
for
have
it.
a
Babushka.
name. Babushka. Is it? Or is
No,
that
that's
No,
just-
I don't
that's
know.
just
is
grandma.
that just being
Yeah.
a little bit racist?
No, Babushka is the grandmother.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's what I thought. Matryoshka. That sounds about right. That's
Yeah.
probably it.
Yeah. I was half right.
Babushka, Matryoshka.
Shakshuka is definitely not Russian. That's a Palestinian thing. Shakshuka is delicious, by the way. I mean, it's not just Palestinian. Like, most parts of the Middle East have got some variation of shakshuka. It's good though. I make a decent shakshuka. Have I made any progress with Skywind VA stuff? No. I had a good look at it, and actually, you know what I did? I started looking up some tutorials for throat singing, because I think it was Troy Baker that did the Dunmer for Morrowind. I was looking at the Dunmer stuff, and he was saying in an interview that he was that he studied some throat singing to get the timbre for it. So I started looking at that, and I found that really interesting. But I hadn't had the chance to warning for it yet. Shit.
It's a flappy fish.
I was actually looking at applying for the Skywind VA myself,
Oh
but
yeah.
I never got around to it.
Oh, awesome. What which roles were you looking at?
I think it was I was probably Norse.
Mm-hmm.
No, Norse, Nord. Jesus.
Yeah.
Because yeah, there are points about Nord accents in official Elder Scrolls releases are very relevant because it just sounds ridiculous.
It does sound.
Yeah, that Germanic shit they're doing is just.
Yeah. Actually, there's in Shadowbringers, when we get up to that, there's a lot of Icelandic voice actors for the Viera and the Hrothgar, and they're fantastic. They're really, really good. But yeah, the Nords in Elder Scrolls sound ridiculous. But I was gonna do some work. I was gonna submit some for the Dunmer and Khajiit, and probably Imperials and High Elves, because like those are really easy. Yeah, I'll be really interested to see what you guys think of the Icelandic stuff when we get to it. I think that's enough of House of the Dead. We'll do we might end up coming back in here, but we need to do the daily leveling roulette, which should get a couple of levels for Rob, and we just need to get him up to 20 so we can continue the MSQ.
Back to spamming 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2.
Yeah, that's the annoying thing about synced content, level sync. I really wish that they would just scale you, like just
No, but
scale your
after-
DPS down.
No.
They'd have to scale the damage down, but you know, like, why does it? If it's not particularly well balanced, like, what does it matter? Who cares? For low level content. My argument, right, is that when you're doing low level content, you're playing with new players, right? If a new Lancer is in here, he's spamming, you know, 1 or 2 abilities, and he's like, fuck, is this what the game is? And if I was in here with my level 80 Dragoon doing my full rotation, and they got to see that, me doing, you know, flips and shit all over the place, and weaving every GCD, and they saw that and they were like, oh, that's what I'm gonna be doing. Then I feel like that would be good. Be problematic with some tanks having more cooldowns and stuff though. Yeah, sure, but again, I don't really see it as problematic. Like, if you can shave 5 minutes off a dungeon run, I don't think balancing in leveling roulette is really an issue. If you think about it, like there are some jobs like Black Mage, right, would have Fire 2 already in this dungeon, and Summoner has no AoE at this point, doesn't have Bane, has to set up all the dots manually. So it's already like, for certain levels, there are jobs that would just like blast through, and others that'll be complete garbage. So who cares? Dancer AoE and ARR dungeons are broken as fuck now with standard step at 16. Yeah, exactly. Standard step just deletes everything. You could pull wall to wall, and one standard step will take out like everything. So why not just let everyone have all their abilities? Man, I just wish that they would split up the Alliance roulette. That there would be a Crystal Tower roulette, and then one for each expansion, honestly. I think would be great. So tired of seeing World of Darkness. Yeah, that's the thing. Like, whenever I get a Ivalice raid in my Alliance daily, I get so excited. Just tank and spank.
Okay.
Yep.
I'm turning him away.
Turn him away because he cleaves.
Sorry.
And tank stats.
Alright, yes.
Yeah.
Oh shit. Where is my tank stance? Jesus. Oh no. Yeah, there it is. It's gone from my
There you
bars
go.
for some reason.
You're right, you're good. Everything's fine. What I do need to talk about briefly is Gamivo, our sponsor for the last month, decided that they were going to give me some money this month as well, which is really very decent of them. I'd really appreciate if you guys would check it out and just have like a quick browse. If there's anything that's on your wish list, maybe have a look. It's a really easy way to support the channel. It generates me a little bit of passive income. I think Rob just logged out and like
No.
drowned himself from having to listen to that for the 100th time. Oh, he logged out to check out Gamivo's great prices and use my code. Yeah, that's right. Yeah, of course. Actually are selling pre-order with all the pre-order bonuses for Shadowlands.
Unfortunately, I already have all of it.
Well, it says here on the script that I just invented that you don't, and that you're really excited to get over to Gamivo.
Yeah, just in time before pre-patch. Holy shit.
Just in time for Christmas.
Okay, let's see. Hey guys, it's working. Damn.
Oh my goodness.
Just saved 8%
Wow.
on Shadowlands.
Oh man, that was so fast.
For you guys over on YouTube who will watch this episode later than today, use code Ethys Asher for 3% off when you finally decide, shit, I need Shadowlands.
You greasy little weasel. There's the show. If you guys click the link and just have a browse, then it shows up on their analytics and they keep paying me money, which would be really nice because I really like money.
I feel dirty right now.
You are dirty. You're a dirty little boy. I need to go do my job quest. That's what I need to do.
I think I just finished my rogue thingamajig.
Your class quest?
Yeah.
Alright.
Been fighting on the docks in give me a sec.
Yeah, in where?
Minsa,
What's it called?
low Minsa.
Oh shit, he's learning. Back in the Conjurer's quest line here, for those of you that are trying to pay attention to that, Sophie is trying to, I guess, embrace natural conjuring a little bit more so, and we're down in South Shroud trying to clean up another taint that has blighted the forest. And it looks like we're trying to keep her on a short leash. And Rob, once I have done my first White Mage job quest, while we're waiting for Drac, we can go and do either some fates. You got the challenge log, didn't you?
Yeah.
Okay, well we can do some fates for the challenge log. or we can do another dungeon while waiting for Drac, since you still got a few levels to catch up on us. Oh look, there's one of the elementals helping us. So if you have a look at stream at the moment, Rob, this is one of the elementals here. Is what they look like.
Boys.
Yeah, the nasty boys. Looks familiar? It does, doesn't it? Yeah, and that familiarity is definitely not incidental. Were there elementals in the first? Not that we encounter so much. I suspect that whatever elementals there were before the flood got pretty messed up by the flood of light. We know that the 12th elementals were severely weakened by the 7th calamity, and obviously that's like nowhere near the magnitude of the flood of light, so I think it's quite likely the flood of light just wiped them out, if there were any there. Yeah, this quest was a good sort of like Etherology 101. It helped give a really solid understanding of how ether worked and like what the difference between Kundry and Thaumaturgy was, for instance, and how basically different types of spell casting operate mechanically. So while it doesn't deliver quite as interesting a story as some of the other ones, it's a really like useful kind of world building foundation. Yeah, Ruktika is an interesting one. Ruktika, it seems like they were kind of like the Romans in the way that any sort of theology they encountered from any other culture, they just kind of like co-opted and folded into their own. That makes any sense? So you've got like gods and goddesses, and then you've got like nature worship and like totems, and you've got the confluence of like all the different races of the cultures that made up Ronka that have all kind of been folded together. They were founded by the first Ronkan emperor was a Hrothgar. Although the other thing you got to remember is that the Ronkans were much more recent than the Allagans. The Ronkan Empire fell 1,000 years ago, right? I'm pretty sure. Someone correct me on this because I don't have it ready at hand, but I'm pretty sure that Ronka fell 1,000 years ago, which would make it contemporary with Gelmora. It seems they also probably ruled for at least 1,000 years. So they probably overlapped with like Amdapor and Mark, but they would also have been contemporary with Gelmora. Now, of course, we know that there's the sort of time dilation effect that wouldn't be like necessarily contemporary, but contemporary in like relative contemporary. Yes. Yeah, that's a good way to put it. So it's quite interesting that like we have stuff on the first that has survived from, 12,000 years ago or more, right? Like much, much older than anything we see on the source. And we sort of look at Ronka and talk about Ronka as though it's a lot older than it actually was. And I think it's because there's been like such a dramatic change on the first in the last 100 years that 1,000 years ago might as well be like 100,000 years ago for people in Novrant right now, because what they've suffered through is basically it's the equivalent of a calamity, right? But it's the only one that they've ever experienced. So basically the ethereal composition of the soul, what our souls are made up of, is a type of ether called anima. And the elementals are basically pure anima.
Nasty animal.
That's right. And generally they're attuned to a particular element, so they fall somewhere on the ethereal wheel. And it may be that it's that like overwhelming ethereal aspect in a particular direction that like allows that anima to sort of remain coalesced, but we don't really know. But yeah, the anima weapon, well, you see the vessel we use for the anima weapon looks very similar. The tough thing about elementals is that there's like capital E elementals, there's the intelligent 12's wood elementals, the powerful ones, and then there's just like the generic like lightning sprites and fire sprites and those like little E elementals, which don't seem to have intelligence or necessarily any kind of soul. They're just phenomena caused by the over aspect of like local ambient ether. Is there any relation to the Fae and elementals? Maybe. The Fae also seem to be creatures of pure anima, but we know that they have a more specific ontology of being the souls of dead children that may or may not be localized to Novrant. You're looking at Isumian's staff, are you? Thou art that, and that is all. So it's a very kind of like truistic, sort of know thyself kind of aphorism. But it's not a unique Kane model. I can't remember the name of it, but I think you can get it from Vale, maybe? Elementals could potentially be sprites who absorbed enough ether to gain sapience, much like the anima weapons do. That's a compelling theory. Yeah. The thing is, like, you can't convert just any old ether into anima. The anima weapon we collect specifically from, killing things with it and then absorbing part of its anima, right? So for that to be true, it would have to be sprites that were either killing things or in proximity to things that were dying. And I guess then the difference between that and a fairy could be that, a pixie could be that the pixie gets the anima of whatever has died kind of like wholesale in one chunk, whereas elementals could, chip off a little bit from here and there until they've got enough anima to gain sentience like the anima weapon does. It's a sound theory, Grim. Yeah, and Scholar Fairies are created through arcane geometry, yeah, as far as we understand, yeah. They're like based on arcane geometry, but they seem to be like very simple, kind of like concepts, like ancient Amratine concepts that are kept in the job crystals. So they would have been originally formed from arcane geometry that has been like basically imprinted onto those crystals. Does that make sense? Is I think the nearest guess we could make at the moment. The idea that Arcanists are creating the purest but heavily crippled form of creation magics. Yeah, I mean that's basically what it is. Arcane geometry, divine geometry seems to be like very, very simple creation magic, very simple concepts. That's something you two need to do at level 30 as well. Hey, will you fuck off, you big marble? What did I even do to you? Go back to your pond. I'm not talking to you, Rob. That's not aimed at you, I promise.
I didn't even catch what you said.
Alright, well let's go. I need to compensate. Been away from my own kind for far too long. What the fuck's
Not
a fish,
long enough,
you
it did.
drongo? Learn to speak English, you dickhead, haha. I did indeed hear what Microsoft did. They only went and bloody did it, didn't they? The audacity of those pricks. Honestly, it doesn't bother me that much. I think it'll have a pretty big impact on this next generation. I know that Bethesda have said that console releases to like other consoles other than Xbox will be a case-by-case basis. I absolutely assume that to mean that for smaller titles, less critical titles than Elder Scrolls and Fallout and Starfield and stuff like that, they'll do concurrent releases on PS5. But I'm definitely expecting their big IPs to be Xbox exclusive, at least timed exclusive. I'm a huge Elder Scrolls nerd, but I don't think I've ever bought an Elder Scrolls game on console. It's always been on PC for me. There's not going to be a huge difference for me. And who knows, like, maybe it'll help their timeline, Like, ZeniMax has been bleeding a little bit over the last several years. So maybe with that $7.5 billion infusion of cash, that sweet, crispy cash, then maybe they'll be able to expedite the development of Elder Scrolls 6 a little bit. Maybe we won't have to wait until 2025. I think like Doom is the same. Doom, whatever the next Doom game is, I think we'd probably expect to be at least a timed exclusive for Xbox. Wolfenstein. What's the ZeniMax got? They've got id. So I think it's gonna be good.
Obsidian, that's ex Black Isle people, isn't it?
I think so.
Yeah,
I
so
believe
the
so.
original creators of Fallout, and hoping
Yes.
to get
Yeah,
them
yeah, yeah,
back in
yeah.
the game. Yeah, yeah.
Yes, that's true. Yeah, that's a good point. So it could even lead to like a New Vegas 2 or something, or you know, at
Yeah,
least a spiritual successor.
yeah, the New Vegas. That's the thing, isn't it?
Yeah, that one. Yeah, Dishonored, that's true. Arcane has got Prey, Dishonored, yeah. So there's a lot of big IPs. I think the people that own a PC, or like have a gaming PC, it's not really going to affect their decisions. But for people that don't, and for whom Xbox up until now was just like the budget sort of gaming PC option, it might be a swing factor, right? Pretty huge. The only thing that I'm worried about is I've got a couple of mates that work for Bethesda in their PR back home, and I hope that this isn't going to result in like redundancies as they try to hold the Xbox and ZeniMax PR together. But I guess we'll see. We shall see. I hope not, but we'll see. Tanking tip, just from seeing this guy, reminded me. You've got a skill called Arm's Length as one of your roll actions for tanks. And its main purpose is knockback immunity, which is really, really important for a lot of endgame mechanics that'll like knock you into attacks or off pits or whatever. But it also applies an AoE slow to anything that hits you, which is really, really strong mitigation in dungeons. Because when all the enemies are slowed, they're obviously, you know, attacking you half as often. So it's something that a lot of people overlook, but most bosses are immune to it. But when you're doing big, like, trash pulls in bosses, it's a really, really strong mitigation.
But I think we'll get back PvP stats in Shadowlands,
Okay.
which is gonna be nice.
Oh,
It means
yeah.
that if you get, as soon as you get raid gear, you're gonna outperform the PvP stats most likely anyway.
Well, PvP gear in 14 now is purely cosmetic, which I think is pretty cool because it's just EP, and it's like, hey, look, I'm good at PvP. I've grinded PvP, and I've got this cool gear set as a result. There's no stats. Everyone has equal stats. Oh, yeah, you can get the PvP gear by being complete trash at PvP and just playing a lot of it. Yeah, fine, that's true as well.
Time gated.
Yeah. There's a small but quite hardcore PvP community in 14, and it's nowhere near as big as WoW's PvP ever has been. But it's pretty fun, honestly. It's pretty fun side content. Oh, New Wilds?
Yeah.
I am gonna do my absolute best to get into the next preview for it. I was having optimization issues, but
Yeah,
I think that's all gonna be like ironed out for the next preview in November. But I've got a lot of footage from it that I want to go through and just make a video about my thoughts and why I think it's something worth keeping an eye on. And hopefully I'll be able to leverage that to getting me access to the next closed alpha whenever they do it. They did a preview event for 2 weeks. It was just like a stress test, early preview event, basically. Like closed pre-alpha event. I really enjoyed it. I had a lot of fun with it. I really enjoyed the like open world PvP VE kind of play style. Having a world that felt really dangerous, and where, particularly when you were PvP flagged, you couldn't just fast travel freely. It was huge and dangerous, and I really enjoyed it. It was very, very different to 14, but I think it's definitely one to keep an eye on. And I say I'm gonna be getting my thoughts down soon, hopefully, when I got time to.
I feel maybe the PvP, at least on the preview, it was kind of like meh, because it didn't really do anything more than, hey, you can fight others.
Yeah.
Like I would want to see more focus on the guilds or whatever.
Hmm. Oh yeah, I know what you mean. Well, the thing is, the world, they call it the sieges, effectively.
Yeah.
They were really cool. So the idea of the PvP in New World is that you control, your faction controls zones, basically. I don't know, because it's all open, it's hard to sort of describe it. But imagine you're the Immortal Flames, right? And you control all of Thanalin, and you're doing quests every day where you have to go out in the world and complete objectives that other factions are trying to complete at the same time, and they will kill you to try to stop you from completing them, and you will kill them to try and stop them from completing them. And after they complete a certain number, they will have built enough influence over that region to declare war on you. And then you will have to defend Uldar against siege weapons and against an invading army. And if they beat you, then Thanalin is theirs.
Fair enough.
Kind of like War Sons then. Wow.
Yeah, kinda, yeah. But
Yeah.
it was really fun.
Bigger.
Really fun. With the siege weapons and all that. So
really
PvP was
fun.
all about like building up to those and then having this, big battle. And you would have them going like every couple of days, like across different parts of the map. It was really fun. And then you had PvE events where it was kind of similar, except you were being invaded by demons, effectively. And would have to defend a location in a similar sort of way against like increasingly difficult waves of, hundreds of demons with, as many players as you can find. It was really cool, honestly. It was really fun. They need to add a lot more content to it. It's still pre-alpha, but it was really promising for a pre-alpha. It's definitely one to keep an eye on.
Okay, apparently I do not have enough of the seals. I don't even know how you get them.
You will get some for...
Council of 7 something.
Yeah, for handing in that quest with the Scions, the MSQ
All right.
that you're on at the moment. You'll get some
Yeah.
as a reward. You'll get just enough.
Not the shrine, the council.
The council. Yes.
Okay, fine. Call them whatever you like.
Isn't it? Council.
No, they're called the Scions. The Scions of the Seventh Dawn.
Oh, okay. I tried.
They're
Yeah.
neither
There
a
you go.
shrine nor a council. I mean, I guess they're kind of like a council, but no.
No,
Yes,
Yeah.
but no.
they are a council only of themselves.
I can't get everything right in
Well,
one day. I
can.
need to have some fuck ups.
You can, and you should, and you will, and you better.
The basement guys. What was their name again?
The basement guys, the fucking basement dwellers. Man, they are basement dwellers, aren't they? Especially Urianger. They are called the Scions of the Seventh Dawn. The Seventh Dawn referring to the dawn of the Seventh Astral Era, because we are currently in the Seventh Umbral Era. So after the Calamity, after every Calamity, you enter this period of history which we describe as an Umbral Era, when everything kind of sucks. And when we get our shit sorted out and everything stops sucking, we call it an Astral Era. So they're
So the
trying
2
to...
weeks of peace on whatever planet area dimension we are on.
Well, it normally lasts... Yeah, it normally lasts for several hundred years. But they're this organization that are basically dedicated to saving Eorzea from the fallout of the Calamity and bringing about the dawn of the Seventh Astral Era. And you'll learn a lot more about them as we go, because they're the sort of main cast of protagonists.
Stealth didn't work on bosses, right?
No. So, stealth resets your ninjutsu when you are not a ninja. So, there's a ninjutsu that you want to use pre-pull to increase your attack speed and stuff. So basically what you'll do is you'll use one ninjutsu and execute it to get the buff, and then you'll immediately go into stealth to reset the cooldown on it, and then you'll use another ninjutsu immediately afterwards. And that's pretty much the only time really use stealth in endgame. It's handy in open world content, in stuff like Eureka. I'm not sure if it works in House of the Dead. It doesn't work against bosses in there, but it works against other things.
Oh.
On some things. On most things. There are certain enemies that it won't work on. Ninja is a lot of fun though at endgame. It's this weird sort of hybrid between melee and occasional casting. Yeah, I don't play much ninja because ninjutsus used to be very ping reliant. I just lose so much DPS from the latency playing from Australia. So I just kind of gave up on it for several years. But playing it more recently, I've had a lot of fun with Ninja. Guys, if you're not following Rob, then you should do so. Because I'm sure, particularly once we start moving towards Shadowlands and the pre-patch stuff, I'm sure you'll be streaming some of that, right?
Yeah.
Rob does stream, and you should give him some love, because he's a good bloke. And
Thank you.
and teach you how to swear in Noshk, if you like. That's what you're into.
Or ask for fish.
Or both, like at the same time.
It is perfectly possible to swear whilst asking for fish.
Yeah.
I just go.
In fact, you're probably more likely to get fish. What do you say?
Up north, anyway.
Yeah, I was gonna say, if you go the further north you go, the more curse word in between there is.
Så till helvete och ge mig den jävla fisken. Din hästkuk.
Wow. That's terrible.
So aggressive.
I know.
Yeah.
I don't really want to give you fish, but I'm scared of what you'll do if I don't. So I think that would work. I think that would do it. Once again, Gamuvo has been so kind and so generous. It's a really, really good deal. It's really helping me, you know, keep the lights on and keep feeding myself at the moment. And the best part of it is that they sell games way, 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 way cheaper than you're going to find on Steam or anywhere else that I have seen. Really simple, easy way to support the channel if you're going to be buying games and game-related paraphernalia anyway. You might as well be doing it this way rather than just, you know, giving money to Gabe Newell. They sell time cards for both NA and EU service accounts for Final Fantasy XIV. The EU ones are currently out of stock because we bought all of them. They will be back in stock soon, so you guys can keep an eye on that. Even if you're not feeling like you want anything at the moment, if you click the link, lurk on that page for a couple of minutes, it looks good for the analytics. Keeps them happy, keeps them off my back, and it's a win-win for everyone. So I'd really appreciate that. So thank you. I will see you guys tomorrow, I believe. Yeah, we should be live tomorrow. So drop by then. Take care of yourselves. In the meantime, I love you all. I hope you have a wonderful rest of the evening, and I'll catch you very soon. Thank you for watching. Goodbye, my friends. Good night. Bye-bye. Bye.